On the one hand, we are constantly exploring interesting projects that can produce some huge results in terms of the money invested or the impact on the war or on some area or on some type of military. That is something that doesn't require a lot of funds but gives some kind of explosive outcome and not necessarily explosive in a literal way. In the summer, representatives of the Defense Intelligence approached us with an idea, a concept of a long-range kamikaze drone. This is Bober's grandfather, as we call it. We invested 40 million hryvnias, bought 10 products, and applied them. The product turned out to be promising, and we decided to scale it up. After agreeing with the DIU on the number, nomenclature, timing, and manufacturers, we launched a large project called Black Box and purchased 60 products, including a significant number of Bobers for the DIU.
What does it look like as an aircraft?
Military has been analyzing this in detail back in the day through open channels.
We didn't do anything like that. Even if you Google it, we didn't know anything, honestly. We used open sources to make both the videos and the articles.
Taras didn't tell us anything. We didn't have any insights. Well, how far can it fly? Can we talk about that?
We seem to be communicating the range up to 800 kilometers.
Let's ask it this way. If we compare the Bober and the Shahed, because this comparison is, well, right on the surface, does it have any advantages over the Shahed? In other words, we created it ourselves, not the Iranians brought us this technology as they did for the Russians, ready-made on a silver platter. This is a Ukrainian engineering idea. This is a product
of Ukrainian engineering. Bober's grandfather is a completely different aircraft. It is not Bober. We have evolved from the product to Bober's grandfather, and from Bober's grandfather to Bober. That is, we are developing and have developed our own school.
That is, it is constantly being updated.
It's very rough. So it's not a superficial product. I mean, it's not made for 5 months or 10 months. This is a mass production. It can be deployed. To deploy it, you need money, preferably in advance. Obviously, it relies on foreign components, just like any drone in Ukraine.
I wanted to clarify. You said that the main thing is money. There are no restrictions on the element base.
When you have money, you
With
can
that money,
scale
everything will
something.
be fine.
You can't. If you're doing 10 a month and you're given unlimited money, you won't do 100 or 1,000 the next month. If you make 10, you will make 12, 15, but in 6 months you will reach 20. And in a year you'll reach 30, for example. Always, if you have enough money, you can build up. You will constantly have a lot of questions and issues. Because some suppliers will fail, you will have to diversify. You will test something new, because electronics, communication, and navigation are constantly evolving. In addition, the tactics of application also affect changes in both design and performance. On top of that, some experience is being built up. You already understand that such a target is not enough for such a warhead. It is pointless to work on such targets. But for this kind of target, this warhead is absolutely fine. And you don't need such a range, for example. So you can play around with it. This is all tested in practice.
You know, it's a fancy way of saying it's open architecture. You can change the weight of the warhead there.
Well, this is not entirely true, but the weight and content of the warhead can be transformed to suit the task. But ideally, you also need to have a factory-made warhead, a standard one, let's call it.
Perhaps of different weights.
Yes, for example, because there must be appropriate fuses, a security system must be thought out so that it does not explode.
Well, yes, it's not just a matter of stuffing some explosives into an aircraft.
Are you ready to name any real targets that Bober has hit? To say that this is our coolest result?
I'm not ready, but the Defense Intelligence has announced some performance indicators. But I know some
The value of
goals.
inflicted damage?
Everything
It is
we do
difficult to
gets
say
into the
specifically,
media.
but around 900 million?
Is there something like we hit something juicy there?
This is a frame from a Russian video. You can track what the targets are.
It is important to note that we are not the only ones who bought Bobers. So I'm not ready to say that all the Bobers are ours and that was it. Different stakeholders, including the government, buy them with different budgets. So the topic is alive, and the topic is not unique, as we have 3 or 4 other producers, maybe more, and this is very good. The competition is at the top.